Finance gurus and the obsessive investment connoisseurs, have I got a treat for you. No longer should you have to pay a premium to monitor the ups and downs of your portfolio. If you have a free Google account, then you need to take full advantage of the Google Finance function in Google Sheets. Real-time trading data is right at your fingertips and ready to be presented in any format you want. You just have to tell Google what you're looking for. So without further ado, let me show you how to use this impressive function to pull live metrics and historical data from your favorite investments. There are tons of available options built into the Google Finance function. You probably won't need all of them or even half, but these 19 you see here are the traditional attributes you'll use to build out your portfolio tracker. If you're looking for something specific related to mutual funds or deeper historical data, Google offers a helpful window that shows you all your options. Simply insert the function through the ribbon under the Google specific choices, or start typing your formula in the desired cell. Once you've entered the opening parentheses, the window pops up giving you some brief examples and common syntax. Scroll down to the bottom and click Learn More, and the Help window expands on the right side of your screen, detailing all the attributes. But let's close these out and see what Google Finance generates by default. The only required argument for this function is the ticker, which is the stock symbol or accepted abbreviation. I'll enter GOOG for Google within quotes in the closing parentheses and hit enter. The result is Google's real-time price quote. But for accuracy, I should mention that Google caveats this by stating that there could be a 20-minute delay in updated pricing. Now let's pull the other attributes listed here. If I add a comma after the last quote, the function is ready to accept your defined attributes. Instead of typing them all out, I'll select the cell in column A. Notice that I'm not using quotes here. If you do manually type them, you'll need to use quotations around each attribute and separate them by commas. I'll hit enter and get my price, and then fill the formula down the list. But let's be honest, if you've been hit by the trading bug, you probably have more than one stock in your portfolio. In this sheet, I have a list of 20 stocks and 6 attributes that I want to pull metrics for. The first two are obviously the name and current price of the ticker. PE stands for price to earnings ratio. High 52 and low 52 pull the top and bottom historical price over the last 52 weeks. And the change attribute returns the price change since the last day of closing. To fill my range, I'll enter the Google Finance function in the first open cell. And since my ticker already exists in column A, I'll use that instead of typing it within quotes. After my comma, I'll select the header in row 1 for the desired attribute and close the parentheses. Hit enter and we get our first name. Now, before you get impatient, you can't just copy this formula across and down or else your arguments will change for each cell. To get the correct value for each attribute, let's lock in our references by adding the $ in front of the column reference for the ticker and one in front of the row reference for the attribute. This makes sure Google Sheets is always referencing the identifiers in column A and row 1. Now you can drag your function across and down to fill the range. It looks good, but did you spot the errors under column D? Sometimes, especially with the PE attribute, the data isn't available to Google because of external sources or a needed attribute that wasn't included. So to clean your table up, you can wrap an if-error function around your Google Finance formula. Back in cell B2, I'll insert my if-error at the beginning. And at the end, I'll add a comma, double quotes for a blank value, and a final parentheses. Drag this new formula back over the other cells and you've got yourself an error-free range. Lastly, there may be times where you'll want to view a history of one or more of your investments. In this case, we'll use Amazon. I've already entered the ticker for reference, but you can also just insert it into your function around quotes. Start by entering your Google Finance function, select or enter your ticker, and now choose the attribute you want to view history for. I'll type price around quotes. Now you need to set the date range for Google to pull. For the start date, I'll enter September 1st, 2022 in its correct date format, surrounded by quotes. For the end date, you can do the same to finalize your desired range, but if you want to return all pricing up to the current date, you can use the today function. Make sure you don't use quotes and you include the empty argument. Finally, you need to instruct Google how often to pull the historical data points. I'll enter weekly between quotes for my frequency and end the function with the closing parentheses. By hitting enter, you get a list of dates 7 days apart with the closing price for your investment. It's sorted in order of oldest to newest, and Google even includes the headers for you. While this is pretty useful, it doesn't exactly tell the story we're looking for. Thankfully, Google provides another custom function to help. For a full walkthrough on using sparklines, check out the video in the card above. Otherwise, here's a quick method you could take. Select an empty cell and begin typing your sparkline function. After the parentheses, choose your price range by clicking the first price. Press Ctrl, Shift, and the down arrow. Next, type a comma and open brace to begin entering your attributes. Attributes for the sparkline function need to exist within the braces, and each selection will be surrounded by quotes. The attributes and options are separated by commas, and each customization is separated by a semicolon. Let me show you. I'll enter the attribute of chart type and set it to a column. Then I'll insert a semicolon and add another attribute to change the color of the sparkline to blue. Close the braces and add your final parentheses. Obviously, the result is too small to get much use of, so you'll need to expand the cell to your liking. But adding the sparkline gives you a better idea of how your investments have performed. Honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg. With a little more research into the attributes that give you the biggest advantage, you can create interactive portfolio dashboards to keep you up to date on all that's happening in the finance world. If that's what you're looking for, be sure to check out my video on using sparklines to present your data. And if you want to learn more of Google's custom functions, or even prefer Excel as your application of choice, I've got something that should pique your interest.